What's going on? What's going on? Brutus here, bringing you the latest OneHive war recap video. Let's jump into the war log and see who we randomly match in a midweek war WHF2, where we came out on top, 115 over 103. The layout for this wasn't exactly equal, but it wasn't it was not an arranged war. It was a random matchup in a midweek. I think it was Wednesday of the week or something like that. Yeah, the breakdowns were Town Hall. WHF2 had an extra Town Hall 11, but OneHive had 2 extra Town Hall 10s. The rest was equal. Both sides struggled on Town Hall 9s. However, OneHive struggled just slightly less. And with that said, respect out to WHF2 for the difficult Town Hall 9 bases and the fun war. We treated it like an arranged war as soon as we matched. So great job, WHF2. Hopefully we can get some kind of a rematch in the future. It would be fun, but I'm not leadership. I just would love that opportunity. So seeing what WHF2, well, let's first take a look at the war stats. 35 3-stars, which was the difference maker here, to their 30. If you take a look down here, average destruction, and we pulled out 4% on top of that as well. All right, so done with that. Left-hand side, WHF2 cleared the top 2 Town Hall 11. I'm sorry, doubled the top 2 Town Hall 11s. Only single-starred the remaining. It also must be said, before I scroll down here, that with about an hour left in war, we had, I believe it became mathematically impossible for them to catch us, and so towards the end, with the remaining 11s and 10s that they had, I think they had 8 attacks remaining, or 7. I don't believe that they were going for the win. I think they were just going for the experience and practice and getting ready for their probably arranged war this weekend as well. So, with that said, as I scroll down, they left IU Jimmy undoubled, and same with ASAP Ozzy. Didn't even attempt on Indicut. And then of course Fabian as well. So I'll just scroll down. They did clear all the 9s, and then for OneHive we doubled all top 5 Town Hall 11s early. Our Town Hall 10s came up and did some respectable middle 60s, and then we cleared everything else. Okay. So with that done, let's jump into the replays here. I got a few. To start off, we got to clean up Dwahrve. Oh my gosh, what did I do? Sorry about that. I'm getting all trigger happy here with my fingers, which my wife usually doesn't complain about. But hey, heyo, Kwei cleanup attack Dwahrve. All right, so I'll zoom out. I really looking at this base. There's a couple of ways that you can crush this base. You see this alley right here? He's going to actually use it. Instead of doing a Dwahrve, watch the angle that it takes to make note of the sweep replacement, the directions that they're doing. See how they're facing like that? Especially how this one is not really covering anything. Might be a Tesla farm above the top left air defense, but I don't recall. But you can also do an AQ walk Lalo here. So, and I'll show why. So he's got a baby dragon and a few minions on the right-hand side to form a funnel, wizard on the left to form the other. He's going to basically take advantage of this channel that goes all the way back to the core. And if you look at what's going to be around it, there's not going to be anything protecting it except time. Basically slow down time. But if you have a beefy level 30 AQ, that's nothing, you know? Especially if you're going to put a rage on her and or even bowlers behind. If you're going to do like a Bolalo or something, but even a straight AQ walk Lalo, this also would have worked because he's also going to be able to shoot over to that air defense, and then you can start the Lalo with basically half this base down this line. I mean, it's just a really clever identification for Kwei to see that channel and then exploit it, get the rage down to handle the CC, Valkyries down, saves the ability. Baby Dragon's down, and then she's safe for the rest. She'll get the entire core there, 2 air defenses, CC, high hit points for time, and then he's got his 1 Valkyrie to start the funnel, going to use that camp to his advantage. On the top, what you missed, because I am a crappy replay person, is that there was a few minions up top that were uncovered, and my suspicion was correct. There was a Tesla farm up top. He had minions up top to form the funnel specifically for his Valks to come in and take care of everything right here, as you see him do this. I really like this angle. I mean, that's a really good eye. I wish I would have seen that. Yeah. You know, they had a lot of these parallel sets of DGBs. There's one right here. I know that in a cleanup there was one that was a little, it wasn't really a surprise. It's kind of, it was expected. This one I think was a surprise. So that was a pretty well-placed DGB. All right, so nice job, Kwei. We'll go to ×4 because there's nothing but cleanup. Really enjoyed that Dwahrve. He had a crap ton of hogs left over for like 3 defenses. It's really nice. So we'll go up a little bit here to number 21. We got Dwahrve on a fresh hit penta. Man, I got to start taking tips with how to Lalo from this guy. He always seems to be in here in the replays or some kind of video with an air strategy. Puts down the BK to tank for the AQ. She'll get in and get the Royals under point defense from just 2. There goes the CC with a shit ton of goblins coming out to get the BK's autograph while the Queen sits back and protects him. There goes down. You watch how close this gets. So under point defense, no healer, uses the ability, do 2 more point defenses, but the Queen is also now shooting at the archers, which almost act as distractions. Boom! There goes down the Queen, and he gets another archer tower, which was just clutch. So watch what he's left over with on this. I like how he chose to bring a heal. I need to have better eyes to see that. So he starts with 3 of his 5. Is it 3? Yeah, no, 4 of his 5 hounds. But if I pause it right here, look at this X-bow is going to basically for pathing purposes, pull the loons straight across the base, which pose a little bit of an issue for keeping the tanks in front of them. So to make sure that they survive all the way over, he brings a heal for them, which was just so smart, to keep them up in the air. Seeing how the hounds right here, see, even though they're right there, there's that heal that I was talking about. I mean, that is just such good value that without that heal, that air defense does not go down. Well, I guess it does go down, but he was able basically to save a few loons, at least 3, because the hounds are all busted at this point. So really nice job. He's got a lot of pups coming around to clean up everything. Huts everywhere. Really like this attack. As we go to ×4 because I have other, just don't want the video to be too long. I got a few more to show. Really nice dwarf. Really like that penta. All right, next one we're going up to fresh hit. Yeah, I have not shown a lot of love to the Town Hall 10s recently. That's just the way things shake out in arranged wars with people dipping and 10s having to hit up. So for this one, I have 3 fresh hit Town Hall 10s to share. Helm with the first one. And they're all slightly different. All right, so Helms got thinking that he could start a funnel in the top left here with just a minion, surprise Tesla. So then he goes ahead and sends down his baby dragon to get down. He's basically to form the funnel is what he's trying to do. If you get that camp, then he's golden. And he does, and then the baby dragon steps up, and the minion already took care of another one. So the Queen is going to enter, as he opened up this wall, Queen is going to enter and get everything over here. You'll see how he does that. There is a hole in the base. See that right there? Watch how he uses that to his advantage. So he's going to wait for that Queen to hop on in there, and then the BK is going to be like jumping out the bushes. Here, where is it at? She's gonna come right back around. It cracks me up. There it is. DGB, Tesla pops, and a lure for just like a barbarian. Talk about a great trade. Puts down the poison. Watch as the Queen jumps all over into this hole again. Watch this. Ex-boyfriend jumps out the bushes like, "What's up? Oh, hey, girl." 2 Valkyries down. That obviously exploiting a huge weakness in the base. With the hole, getting the easy lure, getting the infernal to a DGB, and when he's got a mass minor attack, which he started at the top here, we'll zoom back out so you can see both at the same time. I mean, nice. For the cost of 1 barbarian, you trigger 2 GBs, Tesla pops, and get a lure, and then for the cost of just like 3 Valkyries and your Royal, you get much needed Infernal Tower taken care of, and the beefy 40 Queen out of the picture, and create the other, mitigate the other threats to your main attacking force, the miners, to start on the left-hand side. Yeah. I mean, obviously that hold shouldn't be there, but it was, and it was smartly taken advantage of by Helms Deep. So really nice job. Way to use the weaknesses of a base. Something that I'm taking away from being in OneHive is whenever we plan, at least from my experiences, that whenever there's planning for a base and I'm asking for, hey, what's your guys' opinion on this? How maybe I'm stuck. And it was said also in a Twidla session, one of them was not captured, and I couldn't use the audio as Helms Deep passes this up here and had a leftover rage. Comes up to the core, and there's obviously going to be a GB in there somewhere. There it is. But then he has way too many miners up. But what I was getting to is that the first thing people start with is what's the weakness of the base, and I just think that's the way it should be. Like, you know, I usually look at a base thinking, okay, do I want to do air? How am I feeling? Do I want to do air or ground, and what it's a weak against? So that's one thing I take away is exploit the weaknesses of the base that's given to you, including holes. All right, so in the next one, we're going up to 12. Chris doing fresh hit. And he's got a double a Zap Quake Dragon or Lalo attack. Really nice versatility on Chris's part. You don't always see this kind of an army up at Town Hall 10. Under fire from 3-point defenses, no Kwei, no healer behind her, but just basically sends in to take away some pathing purposes, but was really aiming for this air defense and didn't get it. I should have probably put this on the perfectly imperfect video, but that's fine. I know she was aiming for that air defense, didn't quite get it. And then he sends his BK in to open up the other wall to get the what would have been the second air defense. Seeing how the sweepers are placed like that, he's going to Zap Quake the other one on the top. So it should have been 3 air defenses down at this point, but instead he'll deal with 2 and fight the sweeper. CC's out, but because he's doing a dragon attack, doesn't really matter. Hound for the what would have been the last air defense. However, it's, you know, he's got to make do. The good news about the air defense stew left over here is that it's shallow enough that it won't pose too much of an issue towards his dragons as they clump up here. Good use of the haste and the rage to burn through everything right there. Then he uses a heal because this Infernal Tower is not going to be even close to the wad of the dragons. So he's getting full value of the heal, bringing them back up. I think he's only got, you know, 4 dragons in the core, but they're facing an Infernal Tower with multi-Infernal streams, which is really not much. It's like 42 DPS as they come through the core. It almost doesn't look like he's gonna make it, but he had just enough to get through. I mean, I really liked it. And then he's got a back in Loon and Baby Dragon combo, which kind of tanks for the Loon to come in and take care of the last remaining thing that can damage his dragons with that Archer Tower at the top, because the bow is set to ground. He's got extremely wounded dragons. He's got 3 of them that don't have very much health left. So, I mean, all he needs is one Black Sam to come up, and this raid does not go through. Man, I wish I would have... I should have put this on a different video today. This was really nice. An attack strategy that did not go according to plan, just did on the fly, and then to make it work and not giving up on his strategy was just really, really impressive, Chris. We'll go to ×2, nothing but cleanup, and then we have the last video here. Okay, so we have 10 ASAP Ozzy. Again, fresh hit. What would a war recap be without a boner attack, right? Interesting base design. Looks almost as if it was a farming base converted into a war base. Not quite sure. The Island Inferno, the core is basically interesting to me. I say that, please take that with a grain of salt, because I don't build Town Hall 10 bases very well. So this might be a, you know, not a converted base at all. It's just interesting. I find this core here very interesting. And it's nice to see how ASAP Ozzy deals with it here with starting a walk, able to get most of the point defenses on the way there, but the storages stall her out a little bit, but because she's a level 40, shouldn't take too long to deal with it, and then continue on the walk towards the 9 o'clock position. A golem down with the bowlers right behind it, taking a ton of heat, opens up the wall. BK in there, and he's going to jump. He doesn't have to jump to the queen because it's open right here, but he definitely has to make sure he gets this Infernal Tower on the bottom. He might even get both, given the angle that he's taking right here. There's the partial lure with the dragon coming out first, which is strange. Then the goblins and the loons. Then he sends his miners from the top. He left one. He got one of the Infernal Towers, but this one here is posing issues as the queen gets stalled out on some other things. Uses the ability. She should make her way back around to get it. So then he has miners with 2 heals left and no Infernals, which is basically a guarantee 3. As long as ASAP does not fall asleep, he's good. So you know, I didn't quite catch how the CC were lured, but there's something interesting I recently learned. About CC aggro. The impression I was under is that the CC troops come out lowest troop space first. So if you have a barbarian and a wall breaker, barbarian comes out first because it's 1 troop space. That's incorrect. If you look up the wiki or something like that, and I've seen some illustrations here, but I didn't quite catch how this happened. It's whatever troop gets unlocked first is what comes out first. So if you have a barbarian, archer, and goblin, and you're a CC, the first troop that comes out is your barbarian, then your archer, then your goblin. I know that if you put a goblin and an archer combination, like 20 goblins, 10 archers, the 10 archers come out first, but they're slower than the goblins. So they meet up to whatever it is that they're heading towards, and then the goblins race past them while they're aggroed onto whatever they are, and then basically, and they're faster than they move past it. So it's an interesting composition, interesting idea. That's the impression I'm under. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but the CC troops come out based upon when you unlock them throughout the game. Some interesting stuff to know. But that's going to be a nice job by everyone here. The top 10s just did work. Really a nice showing on the top side from OneHive. Once again, it's Brutus reminding you got to be better than a double, and I would check you next time.